Welcome to this learning resource on conclusions, part of the series of how to write academic essays, university level essays. The features of a conclusion that I'm discussing in this resource relate predominantly and most specifically to humanities and social science disciplines. However, because I speak in rather abstract terms, the features should be applicable, or will likely be applicable, to other disciplines such as those in the hard sciences, engineering, etc. So what are the features of a conclusion? A conclusion is really just the core points of your essay in summary. Your conclusion should be short and clear and easy to read. It should be vivid and understandable so that your reader can get a sense of your whole paper in that component of your essay in the conclusion. Your conclusion should really ideally mirror your introduction. So your introduction should say what the essay will do, your body does it, and then your conclusion says what the essay has done. So it's a kind of a reporting of what the whole essay was about. So how do you do this? The first thing you want to ask yourself when you're writing your conclusion is, what are the most important points that I've made? What are my core insights? What understanding have I come to? What are my findings? What is the contribution that I'm making in this essay? Or what is the answer that I'm providing to the question, if it's a question-based essay? You want to sum up your core points in sort of 1 or 2 sentences. That's sort of a rule of thumb. Try and keep it crisp and short and very clear. Your conclusion is also the component of your essay which tells in summarized form a cohesive story of your entire paper, of your entire essay. So it kind of sums it up and distills what's been said and puts it into easy to understand a short summarized version. So let's look at an example. Imagine this was the essay question. What effect does mobility have on one's identity? So the core terms here are mobility and identity, and we're looking at the effects of mobility on identity. So that's the question. Now have a look at this example of a conclusion. This essay asked whether mobility affects identity. So check. I'm just reminding the reader that this is what the essay was about. Using examples, I opened by defining identity as partly how one sees oneself and how others see one. After describing mobility, I then used 2 examples, passports and xenophobic violence, to indicate the relationship between identity and mobility. Thereafter, I argued that moving between geographical and social contexts significantly impacts how one sees one's own identity, because different contexts imply different people, and how different people perceive one has bearing on one's identity. How one is perceived by others, I argued, must influence identity at the level of how one perceives oneself. So there's the whole conclusion, and you can see I basically take the reader through the entirety of the paper. I remind them what the question was, and I describe in kind of abstract but clipped and short sentences what it was that my essay did, what my key answer was to the question. So let's recap. A conclusion is your core points in summary, a sentence or 2 for each of your core points, and you don't make any new arguments or provide new evidence, and you're also telling a cohesive story of your whole essay. Thanks very much for watching. Please check out the other videos.